everyone, welcome to the Apex Wrestling School Postseason Roundtable States Edition. This is going to be the girls' version. We're going to do the boys a little later, but we're going to kind of talk a little bit about each weight. We're going to kind of make some predictions, who we think can have a real good shot and go through there, and some other ones. Going to be covering pretty much the whole state now. Just so we know, this is for Garden State HS Wrestling, so we're going to be talking a lot about the girls and boys in our area. So I don't want to get a lot of text messages or forum yelling at us like last year, because nobody can read and think we were doing the whole state. So we're going to basically be focusing on the Hunterdon, Warren, Sussex, Morris, Essex, and Passaic. And we might dabble in some other ones, but those are going to be the main ones we cover. Joining me are my fellow commentators, John Kovac and James Clark, who, I don't know, the check cleared. He's still in the Iraqi prison. I'm glad they gave you the Wi-Fi network, but you're good to go. Please, whatever you need, hold up a paper so we know you're still alive. But
let me go find one real quick.
We're going to start at 100. I'm down in Atlantic City. I'm in my palatial, Bally's hotel. Apparently, I didn't notice. I got awarded Employee of the Month for the third year in a row, and I got to come down here and have some gambling money. So my boss is amazing, great guy. Love working for him. He's a talent beyond talents, but it was a little fucking shitty ride down because it was rainy, but other than that, it was a nice little quick ride. And the baby slept really well. If everybody's asking, my daughter's down here staying in the room with my wife. Great ride. There was a nice little test on how long she'd sleep for, and she slept well. But let's get to the point. Nobody cares about my personal life except all the people who have been harassing me since I've had my daughter. You're going to start with 100. The 100-pound weight class. Some good local representation, really, for the area. Looking at who we have, a couple names that really jump out to me, obviously, are Emily Diaz-Santos of Morris Hills. I got a chance to watch her at North One in Vernon 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago. She finished third last year, and I realistically, looking at her path, she's got a rematch in the semifinals against the girl she beat in North One finals, Francesca Gusta from Ridgewood. But she's got a real good shot to make the finals and, possibly win it, try to improve on her finish from last year. There anybody you kind of look at in this weight class that you kind of see and think could pull it out here? James, I'll go to you first.
Okay.
So one of them for me, I know we've talked about it. Obviously, we know Diaz-Santos, Morris Hills. I also do enjoy, and I think that Angelina Quiltiere from Lenape Valley, I think she also has a really good shot. Was 31-2 on the year, took third in the region, and I think she has a good shot of being able to be on the podium.
Yeah, I think she's got a real shot. She's going to meet Emily Diaz-Santos if she advances. So it's going to be tough to get past her, but she'll be solid. I mean, realistically, I'm looking at this bracket, and obviously we have Lydia Bagley, who finished third from at North 2 from Del Val. But I have a feeling the one match I'm really going to keep an eye on, besides obviously what I assume is going to be the Gusfa and Diaz-Santos match, is on the top bracket, is Junior Madison Rucci from Jackson Memorial, who won Central at first. And then somebody who I've kind of kept an eye on because I've kind of gotten friendly online talking with her mother since we've been doing girls wrestling, is Emma Acampora, who won South and is from Rancocas Valley, also a junior. I think this is a really loaded weight. So, I mean, any of those four girls can win. I really like what Emily Diaz-Santos has done this year. I think she's going to kind of be my pick, but we'll have our official picks on the site most likely tonight or first thing tomorrow for both boys and girls. The girls, we're just going to do, maybe I might change that. I was just going to say for the girls, we're probably going to do just the final, the winner. Maybe I'll try to do top four. I'll see. It's a little tough, but boys, I think I'm going to do top four if I remember correctly, like I did last year, or at least top three. Now heading to 107.
Can I jump in at 100?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
That's all right. That's all right. The only reason I do is because I've seen Madison Rucci wrestle twice. I saw her at the Queen of the Hills. James and I saw her wrestle. And then I saw her at Central Region. If this goes chalk, that is a tremendous final. If you can get her and
Yeah, Santos.
yeah, Santos, thank you. I was afraid I was gonna mispronounce it. You get those two, that's gonna be a tremendous match.
Now let's head to 107. This is a little more. There's more of a big favorite there. And somebody in our coverage area. And by the way, I didn't realize this till the summer. Lives right down the street from me. Her dad was like, "Oh, hey neighbor," and I didn't put it together until I drove by and he waved and I saw the family. I was like, "Oh, okay." Gabriella Conti from Hanover Park, 12-1. She wrestled on the boys team, so it's a lot of her. She didn't wrestle as many of the other stuff, but very competitive for the boys. Won the state title at 100 last year. She's got to be my favorite here. A couple other area girls I'd kind of look at that I think we have two other ones. Gianna Bonacorso, who took first at North One. She's gonna get somebody I didn't see if she had wrestled her. Ava Novella from Mawa. I could see Gianna wrestling, first year wrestler, MMA background, kind of stepped into it. And then problem is she's gonna get the 3 seed, Ava Bonilla in Jackson Memorial. There's nothing's predetermined as far as, you go out there and wrestle. It's going to be a tough matchup. If she can get past her, she's going to have a real good shot. Got Lily Henderson, who finished second at North One there. She could see her, or she could see, I know it's a longer name, so I apologize. I'm just reading off track. I think it's Princess Storm Woody.
Yes, that is
cut
correct.
off. So Princess Storm Woody, undefeated from Central. I could see when I look at this, I could see Princess Storm and Gabriella meeting in the final. I kind of like Gabriella there.
Yeah,
I see that match.
Mhm.
Go ahead, James.
I think there's a couple good ones in here. I think Lily Henderson, I think you got to give her a fair chance as well too. But I think that if you're looking at the grand scheme of things, I think a couple good potentials. It's pretty much going to be who's going to face Gabriella Conte in the finals. I think Gabriella Conte is the favorite here for sure, as already mentioned. But I think it's going to be a race to see who's going to wrestle her in the finals. So I think this is a pretty interesting weight class that I think that is going to be most people are going to be looking out for this week.
Princess Storm Woody of Trenton Central down at the Central Region. Fall in a minute 34. Fall in a minute 21. Gets to the final. Fall in 32 seconds. Wins the outstanding wrestler. I'll sign up right now to see her in Conti.
That's another great one. And I mean, that's going to, so far, if we kind of go with how we're going, those are going to be two really good finals that people should be, packing the gym for to go see. Now let's head to 114. We have some local representation, not a ton. But I kind of like, one of the girls here. Some of the girls I see in here, you got Ellie Kisselback from Peaburg, who finished second at North 2. Side note, I went to high school with her parents. And then Jazira Lopez, who finished third at North 2 from West Orange. She's in the lower part of the bracket. Natalie Tucker, who finished third from Vernon at North 1 in the lower part of the bracket. And then I know she's the second seed. I have heard huge things about her. I've been impressed by what she's done. I've been impressed by her run this year. Elle Changaris from High Point. I've been told she's a freshman. All I've heard is, there's Ella Palillo, which we will talk about a little later. Elle is going to be Changaris is going to be the next big one for High Point. And I think this is her start here. And I like her. I like her chances here in 114.
I 100% agree. Same thing applies for me. I think she's someone that has been living as what we refer to as the High Point way. Grew up in High Point, knows everything about in terms of the High Point way of how wrestling goes over there. Coach Gardner is building that girls program over there to be the best they can. So I definitely would not be shocked. A couple girls I think that definitely can do it. I've seen a couple of the good ones. I know I do like Kisselback from Phillipsburg that I think, but she's going to be facing uh, Gudowitz from Howell that's undefeated right now, and saw her down at the girls dual tournament at Howell High School 3 weeks ago, and she really put on, definitely impressed down there as well too for some of her matches that she was able to do. So this is an interesting weight, but I think Chongaris from High Point and Goodwitz is going to be from Howell is going to be the final to look out for.
Gudowitz at the Central Region. I'll give you the rundown again. Fall in 54 seconds in the quarters. Fall in a minute 47 in the semis. Fall in a minute 20 in the final at 114. You got to beat her to win that weight class.
100%. I think that's going to be that's going to be another really good final if it goes chalk there. I'm going to really like that one. Now let's head to 120. Top seed. Not much of a talker on the camera, but she's very good on the mat. Paige Weiss from Sparta. This is sort of like a redemption year, I feel, for her. She won it as a freshman. Finished on the podium last year. I want to say sixth, I'm not 100%. I know she didn't win. I want to say sixth. Wins it this year. Wins North 1 this year. Is going to get a buy into that round. So I really like her as long as everything goes the way it is, but she's got to be the favorite here. And then there's a lot of other representation in the area. Somebody to really keep an eye on. She finished second at North 2, but she's got the pedigree. Emma Peak from Huntington Central. She's got a chance right there. She could possibly meet Weiss in the semifinals, and that's anybody's matchup right there. She's going to catch Sophia Salazar from Morris Hills, who finished third at North 1 in the first round. And then the winner of that will face Jocelyn Danby from Riverdale. And then the lower part of the bracket, we really don't have anything. It's a lot of south and north. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what that semifinal will be, especially if Peak gets there. Peak and Weiss. I like Weiss at this weight. If everything goes the right way.
I personally liked a couple. I think Emma Peak definitely was someone that we talked about and we covered because I was at that region. And she kind of had a flat day that day when we covered her. But nonetheless, though, still, if you know Tanner Peak, who's a relative of theirs from Hunterdon Central, she's definitely going to be in that contention. Another one I really liked too was from Roselle Park. I really thought she put on a takedown clinic, and it was Lucia Ranieri from Roselle Park who won it at North 2. That as a freshman, 30-2 on the year, she'll have to face off Reagan Roxas from Kingsway, and I think that's going to be a tough semifinal matchup for her. But I think Ranieri, the way that she showcased and how she beat a quality opponent of Peak from the other day, or 2 weeks ago rather, she's going to be good. I think she's got a bright future ahead of her.
I like Weiss in this division. I think that she's the one to beat here.
Now heading to 126. Top seed, from the South region, undefeated. Jada Pichardo from Pennsauken. The girl she beat in the finals, Cammie Bird, is the 4 seed. They should meet up there. But then there's some interesting stuff in the bottom of the bracket involving a lot of our coverage area and some people we've, seen. This is going to be a mouthful, and I'm going to try to get the name right because it's the only name I've ever had to hyphenate on a singlet for the All-Star match. Paulina Shardakova Skorzavava from Kinnelon. 1 North 1 up there. When I tell you, and I invited her last year, she wrestled in the All-Star match, and she was getting her feet wet, learning it, but she was doing stuff, and you could just see the raw talent. And I said to a couple people, I said, she's going to be dangerous. And when I found out she was only a freshman, I looked at a couple people, I'm like, she's going to be dangerous. And this might be her year. She's going to make a showing, and a lot of people are going to know how to say that name. Just like, a lot of people know how to say the name DeFrancesco Antonio on the boys' side. That's going to be a name a lot of people are going to know in Paulina. And some other ones, I wanted to look at were you have Alexis Salata from Mountville wrestling Molly Smythe from Mount Olive. North won, by the way, all 3 girls, Morris County girls. So congratulations to Morris County for having a great showing there. And then somebody we've gotten a chance to see through all-star matches and Skyland Conference coverage, Emmy Horley from Somerville, 37-3. I think that match between her and Paulina in the semis is going to be really good. And if everything goes chalk here, I really love to see Jada against either Emmy or Paulina.
I think that would be the matchup to pay for if you're going to watch any sort of like early rounds match. I do like Corley a lot from Somerville. She was the OW at the North 2 region, girls region. Another girl to kind of keep an eye on who took second, and I think she definitely has a chance to get on the podium, Madeline McLaughlin from Bloomfield. And I'm going to be talking about Bloomfield girls a little bit, throughout this podcast, but I really do think that McLaughlin and the way that she wrestled, obviously you're wrestling Horley. That's a tough matchup for anybody really to go about. But the way that McLaughlin and the way that these Bloomfield girls are wrestling, these Bloomfield girls, and McLaughlin being one of them, they're tough girls. They have showcased many times throughout their course of since their girls team has come together that they're a tough team to beat. And I think that she has a chance to get herself on the podium in Atlantic City among some of her other teammates as well too, which we'll be talking about in a bit.
I would just like to see if Smythe has a run in her. If being somebody who's around wrestling as much as she is, has a couple of tricks that she can pull out and shock some people. But I do think that they've got the seeds right and that Jada Pichardo is the one to beat.
Now, speaking about Molly Smith, before we move on, she had every chance, and I got a chance to go and do the videos and I cover them. She had every reason in the world, if she wanted to pack the season in. She could have been like, "Oh, I'm done," not care. For her to come back and not only do as well as she did, but place for states, that is huge for her and that program. That she literally, just said, "Okay, I'm going to do this," and fought the adversity. So, I mean, that's the heart of wrestling, and that's what I was really really impressed with. That she did, and she came out and handled. So, I mean, you look at that, you're looking at everything, and I think she did a great job. So, all right, let's head to the next weight. We are going to the 132 weight, and a couple names to keep an eye on. Sophia Misevsky from Montville, just missed it last year, took third at North 1. She's solid. Earlier at the NJAC tournament a couple weeks ago, she beat the next girl, Sophia Kletcha, from Pequannock, who medaled last year and was fourth. And she's going to face Abigail Centeno from Somerville. And then somebody to keep an eye on the top of the bracket for me, and I'm really excited to kind of see how she does against the girl from South Plainfield, is Lily Macenzio from DePaul Catholic. Freshman, undefeated, 17-0. I went and did my videos with DePaul Catholic, and I was told, I was talking to the girls, and all the older girls, the Beagles and Georges and the coaches were like, "Watch for her. She's going to be good," and she's been dominant this year. So, I'm not shocked there. And then, as far as on the bottom part of bracket, Leanna Noel from Bloomfield. She's going to get a tough draw in the first round, but then she's going to most likely, if she advances, she'll get the girl from Absagami. But she's got a chance. She's got a chance to do some stuff if she wants to.
I think the biggest one to really keep an eye on, and we saw her last year at the North 2 regions, and she won it again this year. She's 8-0 on the year, didn't get a whole lot of mat time this year, but Eva Altamirano from South Plainfield, undefeated right now, is a top seed at 132. We saw her at North 2 weeks ago, and she showcased why she's ready to go. She, started out a little bit slower, but she pinned her way through, tech in the first round, teched in the quarterfinals, pinned in the semis, and then she pinned in her finals match at Region 2, North 2. I think she does a really good job here, and this is an interesting weight class, and I think that she comes out as the victor here. I think she puts on a clinic.
Central District, Sophie Babineau comes in from Manalapan. She's the top seed, comes in 27-1. fall, major to get to the final, and then falls to the 3 seed, Eudora Pamphile of Trenton Central. And Pamphile went fall, major, decision, and then wins a hard fought 7-5 decision in the final there. Based on that, I could see either of them fighting their way through the bracket and getting fairly deep.
One more thing I want to say about this bracket before we move on. Somebody, as I mentioned her before, was Masevsky. She lost to Lily in the quarters and then wrestled all the way back, pinning in 50 seconds, 38, and taking third in a minute 51. So she's somebody I kind of expect to see on the podium as well. I think we're going to have some good representation at that one. All right, let's head to 138. Now, this is going to be, hang on, I went to click the wrong one. There we go. Sorry. Live TV, folks. You can't mess with it. 138. For our area, a decent amount of representation. Somebody, top of the bracket, not so much, but down below, we got a couple people, and I'm really hoping we see this in the semifinals because I got to see a great match of this at North 1. Eva Barry from New Kit, 29-1, a junior, was a state finalist last year. Wrestled Ella Polillo, I think it was 6 times last year, and met her in the final. So it was just, you ran into a buzzsaw. And then her opponent's Julia Fungaro, who's probably one of the most decorated wrestlers, female-wise, in Morris County. I mean, she's been on the podium. She's been in the finals before. I think that'll be a really good matchup. Michelle Gavinales from Nutley. She took third at North 1. She's also in our coverage area. Keep an eye on her. And then up top, I mean, it's got to be Sanaya Queen. She's kind of my favorite there to meet whoever the Barry Fagaro winner is in the finals.
Yeah, I think all these girls definitely have the chance, but I do like Queen. I do like her chances. She impressed when I saw her 2 weeks ago, and it would not be surprising if she came out on top as the 138 champion.
I like Queen to win it all. I would not be shocked, however, if the Central Division champ, and that is. Hold on a second. I've lost my place. Brackets are hard. Gabrielle Roberts of North Brunswick, who made a deep run there, won from one as the 2 seed at Central. I could see her making a run.
Heading to 145. There's really only one girl we cover, and she's the favorite in my eyes. That's Olivia Georges from DePaul Catholic, 15-0, a junior. She's won the state title before, third, I think, last year or the year before. But she's a junior. She's going in there. She's on a run to try to. I don't think she was thrilled with how her season ended last year. She made it down the States, but she obviously had higher goals. And I don't think she was super happy, worked really hard in the offseason, did a bunch of stuff, and has been working on everything she does. So I really like her.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with this. I definitely think that she has the chance to win it all. And I think maybe a couple other girls, but maybe, taking a look at a couple other ones that might be able to kind of fare it out even, but I think Georges gets the win.
I would like to see her. I'd like to see this go chalk and see her against Rosabella Kearns from Freehold, who was the champ in the Central.
So just to update, so I correct myself, Georges won it in 2023, finished third last year. So a great run at this tournament. I'm sure she wants to add more hardware. Now head to 152, and honestly, we have some good coverage here. So for example, we have in the upper part of the bracket Riley Carnati from North Hunterdon, who finished third at North 2. We have Ansel Kumar, who finished first at North 2. They're going to meet each other. Winner will face Stella Ramos, who finished third at North 1 from New Kit. Bottom, you got Samira Koopa, who was second at North 1, and along those lines. But obviously, the favorite for me, far and away, is Ella Palillo from High Point. So let me give you a little bit of background on her this year. She's 32-0. She has 25 pins, including her championship run at the BCD East. She's won every match by a bonus and has not allowed a single takedown or point unless she's voluntarily let a girl get up. She pinned Olivia Georges of DePaul in the BCD East finals and tech falled last year's 145 champ Thea Rowland in January at the Central Regional Golden Eagle Grapple. This is one of these seasons that I don't think people understand or haven't noticed, but it's going to be one of the great ones that people look on. And I no disrespect to any other girls in this weight, I don't see anybody beating Ella.
No, I don't either. I've seen her wrestle in the past, and all I could just say is just nothing but great things for her. High Point Way, right? Like as we talked about, she wrestles the High Point Way. She goes in, she's the boys' version of Brian Soldano. And that's saying that in terms of like how technically sound and how physically gifted and talented that she is in this weight class and for her team. Couple other ones, Stella Ramos, Newton Kitatini's a good one to kind of look into. Samira Koopa, Booten also. It's got to be Palillo's weight here at 152.
The challenge I see is coming from Thea Rowland. Can she put a run together and try to avenge that loss? Now, at the Central District, she had 3 pins in 4 matches, and 2 of them were inside a minute. Is she on a mission to avenge the only blemish on her record?
Could be. I mean, it's going to be a great bracket, but I like Ella there. I think it'll be solid. Let's head to 165. Couple of names to keep an eye on top of the bracket. You got Solaris Paul, North 1 first, finished third last year for John F. Kennedy Patterson. Another girl keep an eye on is Reno Procillo from North, finished second at North 2 from Bloomfield, 16-2, the senior. And then down in the lower bracket, for us, Paige DeCaro from New Kit, North 1, third, 32-2, the senior. She's got a tough girl in the first round, and Michaela Decker from St. Thomas Aquinas. But honestly, if she can get in the match with Liliana Alicia from Central Regional, I think she's got a shot. I think they'll be, she was the South third. I think she's got a shot at advancing. If she can get there, you never know what'll happen when you get up to the other ones, because in the semifinals she would meet Camila Castro from Ridgewood, and I'm not 100% if they did, but they both wrestled in the North final or the North semis, and Castro made your decision to her, but DeCaro felt like she didn't get her offense off. So we'll see if that changes. But I in that way, I kind of like. I know she's the 4 seed. I really want to see that Ari Tyson and Solaris Paul match in the semis. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just gonna say that same thing. I think that should be a great semifinal right there, between the 2 girl wrestlers. And I think this is a pretty interesting weight. I think everyone's kind of close within one another in terms of records, in terms of like where they're seated at. So I think 165 is a weight that I think almost just about anybody I feel like can open this. I think anybody could win it.
She would have to get past Solaris Paul early. But Emily Breen, the senior from Point Pleasant Borough, down at districts, 4 pins in 4 matches to win the title as the 4 seed. She could be a sleeper there.
Oh, 100%. But Solaris Paul is tough. We'll see.
Yeah,
you never know until you get on the mat.
Get past Solaris Paul. It's easy for me to say sitting here talking in front of a camera.
Now let's head to 185. Not a lot of area coverage from ours, but the few we have Rowan Waite from Vernon, who finished third at North 1. She's going to meet up with Leslie Sanchez, who finished second at North 2 from Bloomfield. And then I don't think we have anybody in the lower bracket. I think those are the only two. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. Madeline Rios, who finished third at North 2 from Huntington Central. She's going to wrestle Karina Rivera, who finished second at North 1 from Nutley. And so looking at this, I really like how this sets up. I really think this might be a Shaylee Young from Gateway meeting up in the finals here with Jade Hahn from Central Regional.
I think another name to keep an eye on, and and again, I think she's gonna have to really get through Young, but she did impress me at the North Girls region. Is the freshman of Brianna Sandoval from Boundbrook. The way that she went about it in the North Girls region, definitely was like so into it and so into the sport of wrestling and buying into the sport of wrestling. If she can somehow find a way to get through Young from Gateway, it's going to be very interesting to see how she can fare out from the rest of the tournament. And I think she's a sleeper. I really do.
Daniela Palacios of Lakewood put a good run together to win Central. She's a senior, 19-1 going into the regional. She can win on this stage, but she would have to get by Hahn. It's an uphill battle.
Now let's head to our last weight. Lots of area coverage for us here. 235. The top seed is Saharia Quamina from Bloomfield, 26-3. The second seed is from Gateway, Antonia Federicia. But the third and fourth seed very intrigue me. The third seed is Caroline Beagle from DePaul, North 1 second, 7-3, a senior. And the fourth is Caitlin Hart, North 1 first, from Vernon, 29-2. I was there for that match. Both of these girls wrestled each other real well. And it just came to the second period. There was an even matchup. Beagle was moving a little bit, and then Hart caught her and turned her and got the pin. I really I think, and this is my opinion, I think Beagle can make the finals. And somebody who's a sleeper for me is I like Antonia, but there's somebody who else we cover in the bracket who's a sophomore who has really surprised me this year. She actually was one of my wrestlers of the week. Emmy Rhea Holtz from Del Val. She beat Beagle earlier this year. She beat Hart, and she finished third at North 2. I think she's got a chance if she can get past Henley and Federici. She has a chance to meet Beagle in the semis, and that could go any way. I know Beagle was upset about the loss and felt she didn't wrestle her best match, but that'll be a really good one. And then on the top of the bracket, a sleeper who you want to look at from North 1, Tracy Najaro from Manchester, the senior. She's going to get Sahira in the quarterfinals, so that'll be a little tough. But it'll be interesting to see because I know Hart and Beagle have had, problems with Sahira, but they've beaten her as well. So this is such a wide open weight, and heavyweight on both sides is. I did it. Listen, I did it the last time, and I'm going to do it again because I'm not doing it. I think it's going to be a Hart Beagle final, and I'm not picking it. I have so much faith in both girls, and I think they're very well that I don't want to. It'd be a coin flip if I had to. It's going to be a great match. That's all I'm going to say. This will be the first time I'm not picking a state finals. I'm not doing it. You can put me on the work. I want to sit back and enjoy the match. So that's my pick there.
Some interesting takes there. I've seen Hart, very impressive. I've seen Beagle, very impressive. Quamina from Bloomfield, it has also showcased her style of wrestling and how good she is and how she can represent for the Bloomfield Bengals. And I think she has a fair shot. I think either one of these three, Caitlin Hart, Caroline Beagle, and Sahara Quamina, I think all three of those girls, they have a potential. they all have the chance of getting into the finals. The question is, though, as far as Hart goes, uh, she's gonna have to face Quimina at the top seed in the semis, as we talked about, and that's gonna be a very, very tall task for her. But this is a very interesting, the most interesting, in my opinion, and the one, like one of those weight classes besides the ones we talked about earlier, that's very much wide open. It could be anybody's match.
I'm just going to throw one other name out because I saw her at Central. That's Giovanna Farrell Byers of Howell, excuse me. She won her region, pinned her way through the bracket. I think she could end up in the mix too if she's on.
I saw her wrestle a little bit at the Queen Bee tournament. She was down there. It was more of a catchweight type thing. It was more round robin. I saw her wrestle Hart and everything. I think she's got a solid chance. All right, I got to be a reporter here. This is going to be my prediction if Hart and Beagle meet in the finals. Whoever wins the toss for the second period will win the match.
There you go.
That's what's going to be. Whoever wins that toss will win the match.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. So,
There you go.
but listen, we thank you for tuning in. We want to thank our sponsors, obviously Apex Wrestling School, 3 locations in New Jersey, 1 in New York, more to come. One of the fastest growing wrestling schools. The Harrington companies, Harrington Recycling and Demolition, Harrington Construction, Hoffman Supply, Champion Athlete Sports Nutrition, Dan Warnikoff, everything he does with sports nutrition, and Forum Coffee, the official coffee of GardenStateHSWrestling.com, and Performance Trophies, the official sponsor of our Hammer of the Match Award. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to be back right around 8 with our boys preview. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you then.